I'm the GIS IT person, jack of all trades when it comes to computers, I guess. What we're going to go over to today is just recording from PowerPoint, and we might go through this pretty quickly because it's not that difficult to actually record from PowerPoint into a video. So back in 2003, I think was the first time they did it, and it's come a long way from there. Now it's actually on a lot of the menus. If you don't have it, you can go into the customize ribbon and show it. You can show it by going over here on the main tabs. Mine's defaulted on there, so I don't need to do that. Some PowerPoint installations, you actually need to go in there and customize the menu and add it in there. I believe PowerPoint 2019, you actually have to add that in there. And the 19 version also has a lot better controls, so you'll see them a lot differently than what you're going to see today. And older versions, you're going to see the same kind of differences because programs get better. I'm using this because 2016 is what we have at the district. Why you would want to record your PowerPoint presentations? Well, one is you can't make it to a conference because you're sick, or there's a big pandemic going on and you want to record a presentation you had and put it up on YouTube. And you can do that all through PowerPoint, and you can do it through other programs as well. I'm going to show you PowerPoint today, and if I have time, I'll show you some screen sharing or screen recording, screen capturing programs. But we'll get to that a little bit later. In the newer versions in 2019, you are able to record your webcam as well as the presentation that's going on. So it'll give you an option of showing your webcam down in the lower right corner. I'm going to clear some things here that I was testing out. So going over this, if you go to transitions, you'll notice I don't have any, it's just a normal transition. When you go in there, when you click the mouse, it'll transition to the next slide. And once we start recording, these will actually change. So it will automatically put, after we start recording, it'll automatically put time frames in here, and it will automatically go on a duration, and it'll have sound. So as we record, I won't come back to this, but you will see that when you do it. And you can switch it up a bit if you want to as well. I've helped a few people with this in the last couple of months, and one of them was having a very difficult time trying to get it to all work because her audio wasn't working, and she was using insert audio instead of actually recording a narration and presentation. So this is not the same thing as this. So, but if you insert audio, it will actually show up right in the middle of your design layout right here. Whereas if you do the record slideshow, it'll show up down here, and I'll show you that in a minute. So there are two different audio setups. One is you're recording the narration for a presentation. The other is you're actually you're playing a clip or a piece of audio with the slide, not necessarily the narration of the slide. So if I clicked on a slide, I could actually automatically play that audio clip, or automatically play when I next click it, or 10 seconds later. Whereas with this narration and record slideshow, this is recording all of the narration and all the clicks you do and all the animations. So you can either export it or save it as a presentation, give it to someone else and put their own narration in there. So yes, we went through everything else. So let's just start recording. It's right here. You can start a recording from the beginning or from current slide. We're going to go from the beginning. And here you can actually choose what to record. And the default is usually the best. One is just the timings, the slide animations and timings. So it's just going to be the slides. The other is narration and inks and laser pointing what you're doing on the screen. And we want to record today, both of them. So when I start recording, up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see it's showing me that I'm recording. So this is the first slide. And if I hit my right or left arrow or click the mouse, I can actually see now this is the current slide. The first one's the current slide. The second one is the entire presentation. And if I want to hit pause, it will pause the recording. So you can go do something else, read your notes or whatever, and then you can resume the recording and it continues on. Or right here, you can actually repeat it. So, oh, I screwed up on a portion of this slide. I put num in there. I stuttered, whatever. I can click that and it will pause the recording and start the recording over for that particular slide. So I'm going to actually start this particular slide over. This is survey 123, an online survey with geolocation. You must have an Esri account, and you can use either desktop app or online setup. Here's a couple of examples that you can use. Right here, the Watershed Watchers Report and Wildlife Tracker. And you can use these through these, lots of highlighting, these URLs. And then I continue on to the next slide, and you'll notice it went to the next slide, continuation. And if you have any questions, please give me a call. And when you exit the last slide, it knows to stop the recordings. And now you have recording icons, audio icons down in the lower right. And you can play these one at a time if you want. And up in the top left-hand corner, okay, that's loud on my end. Let's see. This is survey 123, an online survey with geolocation. You must have an Esri account. And I'm going to pause that.
Andrew, I have a question.
Yep.
Ashley asked, how did you use the highlighter and pen?
Oh, I'll get to that. So, well, I'll show it to you next time we're in the presentation. If I don't like this particular slide's audio, I can go back in and start the recording from the current slide. But a good thing to do, at least in my version, because it kind of sometimes it'll keep the slide animation and change the audio, is to clear the timing on the current slides and clear the narration on current slides. So I've now erased everything for that particular slide. You'll notice right here, I have it on the first slide, but it's gone on the second. But I still have it on my third slide. There you go. So now we need to re-record this one. Start recording from current slide. It gives you those. I'm going to start recording. So to use the pen tool and the highlighter tool, the pen tool is Control P, and I can draw circles. The highlighter tool is Control I. And you can also use Control M to hide them, and Control M to bring them back. And if you hit E without a control, it actually erases them. So they're also, let's see, You can also get the cursor back and all that kind of stuff, but they are also down in the lower left-hand corner down here. So you can also use a laser pointer, which is Control L, I believe. So all of these animations you can capture with this recording. And then once I'm done with this particular slide, if I hit next on the slide deck, like hitting the right key or this one up here, I will end up recording for the next slide. And you don't want to do that. What I want to do is just record for this particular slide, and I can stop the recording by hitting close on the recording dialog box there. So I hit that, and it hasn't changed my third slide, but it has changed that slide. And I can play from current slide again. To use the pen tool and the highlighter tool, the pen tool is Control P, and I can draw circles. The highlighter tool, and I'm not going to go through all that again. So going through that, you can re-record, you can do all of the animations and labeling and that kind of stuff. And just playing from the beginning will play the whole thing over automatically. Top left-hand corner, you'll see it's showing, and you can go back. I think it's transitions. You have the time scales, the transition times for each one. Now, if once you've done this, and we did this for our HIP, a homeowners incentive program, one of the people in the office, Emily, she did this and spent a couple of days on doing a very long, I think, hour and a half presentation. And she went through every single slide individually and recorded the audio for that slide. And it's an easy way to do it if you've got a long presentation. You just have to make sure that your audio is the exact same on each presentation. So don't do a microphone at work and use that microphone for some of it and do a microphone on another computer, because they will sound slightly different. And always shut yourself in a nice quiet room, or you're going to be doing slides over and over and over again because someone in the background is talking. We usually use one of our conference rooms, shut everyone in there. But if someone does talk during your slide, you just start it all over. And all of the highlighting and laser pointing is it's all recorded, so it's nice and easy to record slide by slide if you don't want to do an hour and a half presentation all at once. You can just do it slide by slide, talk about that slide, go back, change it, and re-record it.
Andrew, we have another
yeah.
question here. Does the recording save to the PowerPoint file or as a video file?
Just about to get to that. So it has been saved in this PowerPoint presentation. So if I hit save now, we can go back to my original PowerPoint, and this was before I started recording. This is after. So it went from 632 kilobytes to almost 3 megabytes. So that is now all saved in this particular presentation, PowerPoint presentation. So after you do that, after you've got it recorded and everything's great, and you want to export it to a video, you can go to export and create video. And the newer version has more selections than this. Presentation quality is perfectly fine. It's 1920 by 80 because that is my screen size right now. You can reduce it to make it smaller. You can do a whole bunch of things. I just say export it from the best quality you can, because YouTube, if you're going to post on YouTube or Vimeo or something like that, they will do their own quality and reducing in quality size or whatnot. And then here, use recording timings and narrations. Make sure that is done, or you're going to get a video you don't want. And then you just hit create video, find where you want to put it. And I'm doing it as an MP4, which is kind of the standard now. And we hit save. And down in the lower right-hand corner, you'll notice that it is rendering the video. So one thing you got to know is rendering, and Ryan will probably go over this later in his presentation. Rendering takes a long time. And you may hear it in the background. My computer has now kicked on its fan, and it's kind of loud because rendering takes a lot of processing power. And I have 3 slides, and you notice how long it is taking. So if you have 20 or 30 slides and a 45-minute presentation, this will take a long time to export. So just know that. Don't think it's going to be really speedy the first time you do it. While that is rendering, do we have any questions?
We do, yes.
Okay.
Question from Renee. So is the original presentation saved without the narrative video, or did you do a save as to make 2 different copies?
I just did a save on this presentation. This one was the original, and that's just because if I screwed up that one, I could go back and not have to redo anything. This is the one we saved. I just opened it, and after I did the recording, I hit save. If you're going to be doing a lot of recording on certain slides, please save as you go along. The save button is your friend, because if something crashes or something goes wrong, you don't want to lose all that audio. Any other questions?
I think that's all I've got right now.
Okay. There is another way of saving this. I think I can do this a little bit before it renders. Yeah. So you can save this as a PowerPoint. Where is it at? Nope. PowerPoint show. There we go. A PowerPoint show, which is another way of sending out a PowerPoint presentation. What this does is saves the PowerPoint presentation as the presentation alone and none of the design features. Let's make sure okay, I can save it then. Save as. Yep, PowerPoint. And there it is. I'm going to save. And now you notice it's now saved as a PPSX. So if I close that down and open it up directly, you'll notice there's a different icon. What it does is we'll actually start the presentation right away. Nobody has to deal with anything, and all the audio's there. And you can do this with a regular, sorry, I can't talk over myself there. You can do that with a regular PowerPoint presentation. It doesn't have to be narrated or anything. And what that allows you to do is just send out a presentation exactly the way you want it. And it just opens, and it will open on a lot of machines. You can also, let's try that again. Down here, in the top left-hand corner, you'll see you can go through it and just see the presentations themselves. So if I click on it, yeah, I can go to each one. Whether that's useful to you or not, I'm not sure, but it's another way of saving that presentation. And I'm getting out of it. So now that we've exported this video, up in the top left-hand corner, we can scan through it. It's all the video. I'm just fast forwarding, rewinding through it, and you can see all the video. So that is how you export it to a video, and we did that in 25 minutes or so. Any questions on that before I go into screen capturing?
We do have a question, and maybe you're going to address it now, but the question is from Stacy. Can you insert online content?
Yes, you can with PowerPoint. You can insert. Let's go to the last page. Insert. Where's the video? Online video, and you can do it directly from YouTube. So if I wanted to, let's open up SNL skit and go back. I just copied the URL and it didn't find it. Great. Cancel. YouTube. Nope. Let's do Wacom CD. Yeah, well, you should be able to, but you can also embed the code here. So let's see if that'll work. You're supposed to be able to, and this is why you don't do it while you're doing a presentation. Usually you should be able to do it. I don't know why it's not working right now. But yes, you can insert a online video. I would suggest going and actually downloading the video if you can, and inserting it as a full-on image video packet, and save it in the presentation. Because if you're moving this stuff around, your internet connection may not be good enough to actually do the presentation. Now, another way around that is creating a video and just playing it directly. I guess that's a different way of doing it. So yes, you can put in video. That answers the question, but there's multiple ways you can do it. Any other questions? Hopefully that was helpful.
Thank you. I don't see anything else right now. Folks, you can raise your hands and I can unmute you, or you can type things into the question box, either way.
Okay. Well, until they come up with more questions, there's a couple of screen capturing programs or screen recording programs out there. I used to use Cam Studio, which is a free program, but it's a little outdated at this point. The newest one I've been playing with for the last week is called OBS Studio. And this will look a little funky to you because it's going to be the infinity screen, because it's literally recording my screen while I'm talking. And if you notice, let's see if I can do this at the same time. No. No, that's not going to work. Let's do this. I'm putting this on the other screen so you guys don't have to actually see it. So this is the audio from my mic right here. And this is the desktop audio. So you can actually see which one's which. So I can reduce it and play with it depending on what we want to record. So one of the great things about OBS, I'm going to expand this. Ooh, even better infinity screen. Is I can play whatever I want. So I'm going to, let's see, if I wanted to do a presentation and it was also on the web, I was going over a website, OBS will actually record it if I just hit start recording. And we'll do that here in a second. But you also can do this and add other devices and sources. So another source is video capture device. I'm going to put webcam, hit OK, and I'm just going to leave the defaults. This is my integrated webcam, and now I have my webcam recording on top of my other recording. So if I was going to record going through a website, and that I can actually do that. I can't show you both at the same, well, I guess I could. Yeah. I can do that at the same time while it's recording me saying everything. And that doesn't just go for webcams. If you hook up a video camera to this, you can also record that. You can record images. If I wanted to bring in an image, I could do, I'm just going to grab an image. I don't know where an image is. Woo. Photos. There we go. And now I can add that image. Now, I just grabbed one. This could be your logo if you wanted to. And it also uses transparency. Oh, that would be Death Valley right there. So that could be your logo down in the lower left-hand corner. Other ones that you can do, you can turn them on and off if you want. Now I'm going to turn off my webcam. And I just turned it off from here. It's still I can easily turn it back on. You can also put in text. Scenes is probably a little too advanced for this particular class. You can set up scenes that will play. So when you're live streaming, you can say, okay, scene 1, it plays like an intro. Scene 2, it is like the extra while you're live streaming to the internet. Not that that is very helpful to all of us, but it is there. And you can also do a straight browser. If I wanted to choose a browser, it's going to choose that one. I don't know why. Yeah, I haven't even tried the browser yet. So it does a browser. Yeah, there we go. You've just added a browser source. Woohoo, whoop-de-doo. So this is a very interesting and useful app, and I just have to hit start recording, and it will record everything I do. So, and it defaults, I'm going to stop recording. I can also pause the recording, and it will actually go to the recordings directory. Which one's which? That's the one. And now I have a screen recording of me doing everything with the audio.
You've got some questions about this OBS here, Andrew.
I figured there would be.
So we'll start with, is OBS a free program?
Oh, yeah, didn't even go over that. Yes, it is. It's OBS Studio. There's a free version and a paid for version, I believe. It's an open source project. So yeah, download and play as much as you want. One thing I would suggest is go into the settings and change your output to an MP4. It defaults to an MKV, and you get this warning down here. And all the stuff I've heard is it doesn't actually, they're warning you just in case. But I've exported from MP4 or to MP4, and it works better. And it's more universal. You can also do hotkeys and streaming and audio and all that kind of stuff. But there's a ton of tutorials out there as well.
Okay. Another question. So an application for this would be giving a presentation remotely while allowing the audience to see you at the same time.
Yes. Well, I would use GoToMeeting for that, or Zoom or something like that. An application for this would be recording your screen, and you're recording a presentation that you're not streaming live through GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar or Zoom or whatever, because all of those applications you can record directly in that program, just like Jan is recording this whole presentation as we speak. But this would allow you to record your presentation before you get it out. What I use this and Cam Studio the most over the last 10, 15 years is how-to videos, how to get Outlook to work with your web email, how to do anything, how to georeference in ArcMap. And I just follow direction, or they follow along in my video. I do it all, I record it all, and I post it on YouTube. That's what I use it the most. If someone's asking me, how do I do this? Sometimes it's easier to take a screenshot or a screen capture through video than it is trying to work it through over a phone. That's how I use it the most. And then if you really want to stream, you can do that. And when I say stream, I mean live stream. Like you're going live to everyone over YouTube live.
And we have another question here. Does OBS Studio always have that infinity effect?
No. So if I changed the infinity effect is because it's recording itself right now. So if I was recording just my webcam, that's what it would look like. If I was recording that image we put up, that's what it looks like. If I added my second display, hit OK, and that's your presentation. That's GoToMeeting right there. That's my second display. So it just depends on what's on the display. That infinity thing is just because it's recording itself, and you're viewing it and recording it and viewing it and recording it and viewing it. That's what that's all about. Whee! And that's that. Yay!
And Ryan Palmatier has a comment speaking to the applications of this. And it says, I've used OBS for live streaming public events via YouTube. OBS can have multiple cameras, microphones, and switchboards. However, it can have a lot of learning curve and requires a crew to really operate. So the program is really helpful on a full spectrum from fairly simple to extremely complex.
Yep.
Okay. And then I do have a couple questions here, I think going back to the PowerPoint, Andrew, if you want to take those. We had a question, is there a way to insert drone footage without making the PowerPoint a huge file?
The only way I can say you can do that is to reduce the quality of the video. Because as soon as you insert video, those files will be huge. You can link the video to the PowerPoint slideshow, but then you actually have to have that video in the same directory as the PowerPoint slide or wherever it was originally. So as soon as you start putting in video, it's going to be a big file. I don't think there's any way around that. You're either having the PowerPoint slide file and the video file, or everything inserted into the PowerPoint slide video, which I'd suggest if you can.
Okay. There's a follow-up question, I think, to the inserting online content. Can you insert music throughout?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you just throughout the whole slideshow? I've never tried that. I don't know. I'm sure you can. I just don't. I've never tried it, and I probably shouldn't try it while I'm doing this. But yes, you probably can. Or while you're recording, if you're doing a narration and the music, you could probably do the same. You can record the audio and video at the same time, or the narration and the music at the same time. But I'm sure you can. I just don't know off the top of my head because I've never tried it.
Something to experiment with.
Yep.
We have another question here from Renee. She says, I have a video of our manure spreader in action, so I could show that on the screen and talk about it over the recording and then record the whole thing to put up on our website.
Yep. Yeah, either one, or you could use if you're doing a video and a presentation, I would insert the video in the presentation. But if it's multiple videos and you're going to the website itself, a screen capturing program might be a better way to do that. Or you do the PowerPoint presentation, the narration, you export that to video, and then you have your video and you do editing in a video suite, and you cut them both together. You chop them up and put them where they need to be. That would probably look cleaner than anything else. So multiple options there.
Okay, I think that's everything I've got in the box at the moment.
Okay. I think that's it. I don't have anything else. Yep, I went over everything.
Are there any other questions? You can either raise your hand and I can unmute you so you can ask directly, or you can type it into the question box. We've got some more time here, so plenty of time for questions. Cindy Pierce says, great job, Andrew.
Thank you, Cindy.
Nikki has a question. Any advice on creating videos from live Zoom presentations showing both the presentation and the presenter?
Record it in Zoom and export it. If you can't record it in Zoom, you could probably use OBS to record it, but you're going to have a bunch of editing to do. Or are you talking about taking out the person out of that recording? Yeah, I'm not sure what she meant by that. So yeah, if you can record in the presentation software you're doing, like Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatnot, do it in there. If not, OBS would work.
Okay. Lisa asks, is there any way to convert to PDF and save the animation and narrative?
You can't do, as far as I know, you can't do PDF videos. You can link to them, but I don't think you can do audio either, but I'm not quite sure about that. I've never tried. I probably wouldn't even want to try that, actually. I guess it would be the use case. We'd have to figure out the use case.
I have another question here from Renee. She says, I have a video production question related to doing live stream without cell reception. Will that be covered in the next class at 2 o'clock? We do have Ryan here on the line.
Yeah.
I think
so the question is doing a live stream over cell through Zoom or something like that. That's a very...
She says, follow up, I was hoping to do a farm tour via live stream via Facebook Live, but the farm's Wi-Fi doesn't extend very far and the cell reception is lousy.
Yeah, you're not going to do a very good job then. You're going to need, if you're going to do a live stream, you're going to need a probably at least 4 to 5 megabits per second out there and really good quality. And there are ways of getting around that, bringing in a tower to hold whatever you're using for the internet, getting it up high to get a better cell reception. But you get into the very intricate stuff at that point. You could extend the Wi-Fi, but you'd still, if you're walking around and doing a live stream, you never know what that's going to do. Yeah, it all comes down to many different ways of getting internet connection while you're out there. And if it's really bad cell connections out there, that's not going to be an option. Extending the Wi-Fi would probably be the best bet. And you could, if you're in the entire live streaming is in the same general area, you could run a very long Ethernet cable out to the area and just put a Wi-Fi extender or access point, and you can turn old routers and into access points if you want, or you can buy one. And essentially you're taking all that internet over that cable and bringing it way out there, and you can buy 1,000 feet of Ethernet cable for about 70 or 80 bucks and put ends on them if you want. I have a whole bunch of that laying around. I have like a 60-foot one in my living room for my roommate right now, going around the living room because he's working from home. And I did a couple for other people at work, and you just crimp on the ends and you have a very, very long Ethernet cable. And that, if it's very important, that's the way I would do it. And then you end up with an access point for Wi-Fi way out in, let's say, the garden that you're streaming from, and then you have really good Wi-Fi as long as no one steps on that cable or other things don't go wrong. Yeah, I don't, that might be a little too high tech for someone to do, but I think that's the best bet if you're out there.
She says maybe just wait until phase 3 when they can go in person again. We do have a couple of questions here about file sizing from Jessica. Her first question is, what's a minimum file size to maintain high quality photos in a recorded presentation? And then a follow-up, what is the max size that can be uploaded to YouTube?
Okay, so the first question is what's the
Minimum
anything coming
files.
out of a good camera nowadays? It's not necessary. Anything coming out of a good camera, should be good as long as the focus is in focus and good resolution. But I think you want as good a good quality. It doesn't matter about the file size more than it matters about the resolution of that photo. So the better resolution the higher resolution is better. And as long as you're over, 8 megapixels, 5 to 8 megapixels, you should be fine. Even lower than that, you should be fine. So anything you take and you put into PowerPoint, it should be good because you're reducing it down to a smaller size than that. Like all these PowerPoint slides and stuff are smaller resolution than camera phones and everything takes nowadays. So hopefully I answered that right the way you wanted it, but I'm not sure. And the second part of that question was, what was the second part of that question?
What's the max size that can be uploaded to YouTube?
On your personal account, I remember when I first set up the Wacom CD account, you needed to verify that account before you could go over a gigabyte. And I've uploaded a 15 gigabyte file once. So I don't know off the top of my head, and that's easy. YouTube max file size upload. There you go, 128 gigabytes. And that's less than a movie, actually, that you can download off the internet from Amazon or whatnot. So it's, yeah, no longer than 12 hours. Hopefully you're not doing a 12-hour video. That would be kind of long. I haven't reached the limit yet, that's for sure. And we've got 60 or 70 videos up or something like that. It's been a while since I've counted.
Okay. She also asked, does recording PowerPoint prevent the formatting issues that sometimes happen with PowerPoint files?
No, I don't. I think she's asking, like, if you're saving a PowerPoint presentation and you give it to someone else and they don't have a certain font, they can't, it all gets screwed up. Or an older PowerPoint presentation, it all gets, or an older version of PowerPoint, it all gets screwed up because the theme's not there or the font's not there. So those types of formatting issues, I'm guessing that's what she's talking about.
She says yes, that's what she says.
Yes. So yes, because you're actually creating a video out of all that, you no longer need any fonts or themes or anything like that. It's all directly to video. The problem with that, of course, is you can't change anything. It's a video now. Unless you have video editing software, you can't change that video.
Okay. Okay, good, thank you. Anyone else have questions that they want to ask for Andrew? We still have a few minutes left here. We can take some more questions. Oh, I missed one here from Ryan Palmetier. He said, how often do you use OBS for screen capture? Andrew, can you still hear me?
Oh, I
There
guess I
you
muted
are.
myself. There we go.
Yeah,
When
there you
did I
are.
accidentally mute myself?
I didn't hear any response to that question
Oh,
if you were giving
okay.
one.
So I've only used OBS for a few weeks, and I've used it about 3 or 4 times a week at this point. But before I found OBS, I used Cam Studio, and I've been using that for a decade or more now. And I use it probably about once a week, average probably about once a week, depending. Lately, it's been more. Just because we're doing a lot of how-to videos because everyone's working from home and we moved over to Office 365. So I use it quite a bit. Well, at least I use screen capturing quite a bit.
Okay. Any other questions for Andrew? Can type them in the question box or raise your hand and I can unmute you. Okay, well, seeing no new questions, maybe we'll just take an extra little 5-minute break here. Oh, I do have one question about what version of PowerPoint are you demonstrating, Andrew?
This is 2016.